If someone can provoke your anger, you will know that your mind is complicit in that provocation. Epictetus, friends. When Epictetus warns us about the complicity of our mind, he is warning us about the responsibility we have over our reactions. Today, we will talk about the Stoic art of leaving situations and people, a process that can seem painful and complex, but it's critical to our well-being. It is not about abandonment, but about liberation. Let us delve into this ancient wisdom and find out how we can apply it to achieve inner peace. First of all, we need to understand that life is constantly changing. Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher, once said, "No man enters the same river twice, because it is not the same river, and he is not the same man." This profound sentence illustrates how everything is in perpetuity, movement, and transformation. Accepting this change is critical to our growth and well-being. Let's imagine you're holding a rope very tightly. Not starting. You may not feel uncomfortable, but as time goes by, your fingers start to hurt and the rope ends up cutting off your skin. This act of holding so hard may seem necessary, but in reality, it is causing pain and suffering. Releasing the rope should not be seen as a weakness, but as an act of self-preservation and wisdom. It is an acknowledgement that unnecessary pain does not need to be a part of our lives, as it is in our lives. Keeping people in situations that hurt us can cause deep emotional damage. Imagine being constantly surrounded by people who exercise your energy, who criticize without building, or who simply don't respect who you are. These relationships are like a rope that hurts your hand. Hold on if it may seem the easiest or familiar way for them, but it only prolongs the suffering. It is important to recognize when it is time to let go, to give up what is no longer useful to us. This act of release may be difficult at first, but it is essential for our mental and emotional health to release. What makes us feel bad is to open up space for new opportunities, new people, and new experiences that can bring us joy and growth. Stoic wisdom teaches us a valuable and timeless lesson. We need to focus on what we can control and accept what we can't. This philosophy, which has been practiced for centuries, is a powerful tool to deal with the challenges of modern life. When a relationship becomes toxic or a situation becomes unsustainable, it is crucial that we acknowledge our inability to change the behavior of others or the external circumstances. Epictetus, one of the great masters of Stoicism, he advises us to remember that it is not the events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. This simple, deeper sentence reveals a secret to finding inner peace, changing our perspective. Imagine being stuck in a traffic jam. Traffic itself is a neutral event, but our reaction to it can vary greatly. We may become frustrated, anxious, or irritable, increasing our suffering. Or can we choose to see this situation as an opportunity to listen to our favorite music, reflect on the day, or simply practice patience? By changing our perspective, we turn a potentially stressful situation into a lighter, more manageable experience. This principle can be applied to all areas of life, especially when dealing with people and circumstances that we can't control. When a relationship becomes toxic, it is natural to want to change the other person or fix the situation. However, this is rarely possible and often only increases our suffering. Stoic wisdom teaches us to focus on our own response rather than trying to control the uncontrollable. Accepting that we cannot change others or external circumstances is liberating, allowing us to redirect our energy to what really matters, our own minds and attitudes. By practicing this acceptance, we begin to find peace even in the most adversity, because we realize that our happiness does not depend on external factors, but from our own interpretation and response to them. Epictetus reminds us that our serenity depends on our perception. By cultivating a resilient mind, we can turn adversity into opportunities for growth. When we face challenges, instead of regretting what we can't change, we can choose to focus on what we have in our hands, our actions, our reactions and attitudes. This proactive approach not only improves our emotional well-being, but also strengthens us to face future difficulties with more courage and wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that true power comes from within, and that by mastering our minds, we dominate our lives. Let's consider a common and shocking example of a relationship that no longer brings happiness. Many of us have been in this situation before, where we stay in relationships out of fear of loneliness, guilt, or a sense of responsibility. However, it is crucial to remember that true self-love lies in the ability to recognize when something is not working and to have the courage to act according to that perception. Stoicism, with its millennium wisdom, guides us on this journey of self-discovery and action. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great emperors and Stoic philosophers, in his Meditations writes, "The happiness of his life depends on the quality of his thoughts." This teaching reminds us that our thoughts shape our reality and are therefore fundamental to our happiness and well-being. Maintaining positive and constructive thinking about the decision to leave is essential. When faced with the difficult decision to end a relationship, we need to focus on the quality of our thoughts. Instead of being dominated by fear or guilt, we should cultivate a mentality that is conducive to our growth and well-being. Think about the possibilities that open up when we decide to get rid of something that is not good for us. New opportunities, healthier relationships, and a path to true happiness becomes possible. Change can be frightening, but it is also the door to a more authentic and rewarding life. Stoicism teaches us that the fear of loneliness is a powerful but not invincible opponent. When we face this fear, we realize that true loneliness is not about being alone, but about being with someone who doesn't understand us or does us no good. Self-love encourages us to seek relationships that truly value us and make us grow. Leaving an unhappy relationship behind is not an act of selfishness, but a respect for ourselves. It is to recognize our value and the importance of our happiness when we choose to walk out of a relationship that hurts us. We are, in fact, taking a significant step towards our own well-being, and that when making the difficult decision to leave a person or situation that no longer does us any good, it is essential to practice detachment. To detach, if not to be indifferent or insensitive. On the contrary, it is the ability to see reality clearly and act according to this view in a wise and thoughtful way. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, with his insight reminds us that it is foolish to be angry about what you cannot change. It's cowardice to do the same for something that can change. This reflection prompts us to wisely distinguish what we can and cannot change, freeing us from the shackles of frustration and fear. Separation allows us to face situations with a more balanced perspective. Instead of being led by intense and often negative emotions, we develop the ability to analyze the situation with serenity. When we find that a relationship or situation is no longer beneficial, we are not simply abandoning something. We are recognizing reality and taking action based on reason and self-love. This is not an act of cold, but an act of courage and emotional maturity. Facing the truth may be painful, but it is necessary for our growth and well-being. When we apply the teaching of Seneca, we understand that it is a waste of time and vitality to spend energy on things that we cannot change. On the other hand, fear or avoid possible changes out of fear or insecurity. It's a form of cowardice that prevents us from living to the fullest. Stoic wisdom guides us to act with discernment, recognizing when it is time to act and when it is time to accept. This distinction is crucial to our inner peace and happiness. Making difficult decisions like leaving a toxic relationship requires mental clarity and courage to move forward, knowing that we are acting for our greater good. By making the decision to leave with clarity and reason, we are performing an act of true courage and wisdom. This process involves deep introspection and honest assessment of the situation. We need to recognize our limitations and accept that no matter how much we want to, we cannot change others or control all situations. This acceptance frees us, and it empowers us to focus on our own growth and happiness. The decision to let go of what hurts us is a show of strength and a vital step towards a more authentic and fulfilling life. It is equally important to practice self-pity when we make difficult decisions, such as leaving a relationship or situation that is not good for us. We are often haunted by unnecessary accusations, questioning whether we are being selfish or insensitive. However, it is important to understand that these decisions are in fact vital steps for our well-being and personal growth. Forgiving yourself is an essential component of this stage process. It gives us profound wisdom to say that the greatest obstacle to life is the expectation of relying on tomorrow and despising the present. This reflection invites us to focus on the present and accept our decisions as an integral part of our journey of self-discovery. Self-pity means treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer to a dear friend. When we are faced with the need to make difficult decisions, it is natural to feel a whirlpool of emotions, including guilt and doubt. However, it is essential to recognize that these emotions are part of the process and that they do not define our validity or our value. Forgiving yourself involves accepting that despite our imperfections and mistakes, we are doing the best we can with the information and resources we currently have. This forgiveness is a form of self-pity that frees us from the paralysis of guilt and allows us to move forward with more confidence and clarity. Reflecting on the phrase scenery helps us understand the importance of living in the present. Constant expectation of the future can imprison us, creating a barrier that prevents our happiness and inner peace when we are locked in ice, when we no longer fully appreciate and live the present. This focus on the present allows us to accept our decisions, not as a source of past mistakes or anxiety about the future, but as an essential part of our life trajectory. Every decision, even the most difficult, contributes to our growth and self-understanding. By living in the present, we embrace the totality of our human experience with its complexities and wonders. Forgiving yourself also means recognizing that self-improvement is a continuous process. Every decision made, every step taken is an opportunity to learn and grow. This process is intrinsically linked to self-pity, as it allows us to treat each other with patience and kindness as we navigate through life's challenges. Acceptance of our imperfections and willingness to learn from our mistakes are fundamental to a full and authentic life. Thus, by practicing self-pity, we not only forgive ourselves, but also strengthen ourselves to face the future with a healthier vision. And the search for inner peace also implies forgiveness for those who have caused us. Pain does not mean accepting or justifying your actions, but releasing the burden of resentment we bear. As the Epictet said, freedom is not the permission to do what we want, but the power to do what we must. We must free our minds from resentment so that we can move forward with a balanced and light mind. An important aspect to consider is the influence of our environment. Surrounding ourselves with people who share positive values and who encourage us to grow is vital. Marcus Aurelius advises us, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make of it, so when choosing our social circle, we are also choosing the mental environment in which we want to live." It is also necessary to recognize the signs that indicate when it is time to let go. Intuition and instinct are powerful guides, and Stoicism encourages us to listen to these inner voices. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. We should pay attention to feelings of discomfort and dissatisfaction because they are. To conclude, it is essential to reflect on what really matters in life. The relentless pursuit of approval and recognition by others can lead us away from our true nature. Epictetus tells us, "First tell yourself what you will be, and then do what you have to do." Define your values and live according to them without worrying too much about the opinions of others. Captive that something needs to change. Letting go of people and situations is a process that requires courage, self-knowledge, and wisdom, but it is also a way to achieve emotional freedom and inner peace. By practicing detachment, self-pity, and acceptance of change, we can transform our lives and find true balance. Now, I leave you with a question for reflection. What is the weight you carry that is no longer of use to you? And what can you do today to start getting rid of it? Remember, friends, that true wisdom is in recognizing what we need to let go of in order to live a fuller and more meaningful life. Stoicism offers us the tools for this journey, and it is up to us to use them with discernment and courage. I hope you like this video and really help you from the bottom of your heart. If you help you, please leave your likes, subscribe to our channel, and activate the notification bell to receive all new videos as soon as you leave. And here on the screen will appear 2 more sensational videos here from the channel with a lot of knowledge, so click and watch to continue with us here on the channel. One hug, stay in peace, and until the next.